Thank you, Io. And I want to take this time to welcome you to our DEI Welcome. I can't but think this time last year, I was standing in front of you in the atrium telling you that home isn't a place, but a feeling. And it's a feeling that we're all attempting to recreate as we navigate working from home. But one thing I've learned over the last 6 or 7 months is that the only thing that's constant is change. Today's attendance shows us that we have a community of folks that are supportive and a community that believes that we have to be intentional about who we are to become, and for what do we want to be known for in the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion. As we navigate multiple pandemics, it is now more important than ever that we lean on each other and support each other as we continue to strive to move forward. As we're on Zoom, today's format will be a little different from the years past. We'll have comments from Dean Hendrick, comments from MSU Federal Credit Union, and an attempt at an interactive activity, an overview of upcoming events, and an introduction and a thank you for the numerous amount of folks that have and are engaging in this work in our college, because we know that in order to truly reach our goals in creating a diverse, equitable, and inclusive college, it's going to take more than the folks that have DEI in our titles. But it's going to take everyone on this call in order to move forward. So keeping that in mind, I want to recognize the members of our D&D for their continuous support in diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Kelly Millenbaugh, Doug Bueller, Jeff Dwyer, George Smith, and Suzanne Lane. As we talk about the importance of team and diversity, equity, and inclusion, I couldn't be more proud to work with these certain individuals listed here. Again, these are the folks that represent the DEI team in the college. We have Dr. Kendra Chiravillo, who's a special advisor for faculty affairs and belonging, Mr. Leonardo Pizzaglia, who's a diversity, equity, and inclusion specialist from MSU Extension, Philip Seaborn, who's the assistant director for undergraduate diversity. We have Krista Portra, who's the interim director for Native American Institute. And we have Stephanie Chow, who's the assistant director for undergraduate diversity. And Io Del Dare, who's somewhat new, who's also in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. So again, I highlight these folks so folks understand and realize that these folks are also resources in the college. I also want to take the time to introduce and thank the outgoing members of our College of Ag Natural Resources 2019-2020 Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Committee. Jen Rebo and Juliana Wilson and Shidra Rickstraw. And also I want to thank Jen Rivera for 2 years as chair. So thank you for those folks for their participation and their continued commitment to the efforts of diversity, equity, inclusion in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. So with outgoing members, we also have new members, and I'd like to introduce those new members to the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. So we have a new chair, co-chair, Abba Holmes. We also have a co-chair of Aaron Richmond. Then we also have the additional members of Brian Roth, Justin Kenkel, Eliza Senta Mejia, who's a graduate student rep, and Graciela Montoya, who's an undergraduate student rep. So again, I want to thank those folks in addition to having our folks who continue to serve in our college, as Philip Seaborn, Io Del Dare, Juan Stiebel, Marita Rubino, and Frank Cox, and Gino Rivera. So again, these are the collective folks that represent you as the College of Ag and Natural Resources and our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee. And now we can't talk about having a commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion without mentioning our folks that we recently come on board in terms of our DEI Assess, Action, and Response team. So I'd like to call forward Mr. Leonardo Pizzaglia to introduce these folks.
Thank you, Dr. Tyler. And these are individuals that you can see on your screen here that are part of Michigan State University Extension. They're in different locations, from being on campus to being across the state. Each of these individuals are people who have been identified as moving our work from the internal work that we've been doing for over 21 years since I've been in the position, but also taking this work into Michigan communities. So some of the examples that are happening right now is that we've got team members that are working on curriculum, anti-racism curriculum that will be focusing on youth and our adult volunteers. There's other individuals that are working with families to increase awareness around issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And there's a core group of us right now that are working on advancing discussions around diversity, equity, and inclusion in local cities and municipalities. So we are taking the work that we've been doing within our own organization to thinking and working to make sure that our outreach is involved and informed by issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Each of these members have taken it upon themselves to be a part of this team to help advance that vision.
Thank you, Leonardo. Appreciate your leadership and your guidance and everything that you do to continue to make MSUE and the College of Ag and Natural Resources a diverse, equitable, inclusive place. So now keep that in mind. I would like to bring forward our Dean for comments, Ron Hendrick.
I want to thank you, Quentin, and your team and everyone on the call who's been working with us to create a climate within the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources that fosters diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our goal here really has been to really kind of change the ecosystem of the college and to focus on creating a place where people can come, they can feel welcome, that they can be their best authentic selves as people and as scholars, whether they're working in the area of teaching, research, or outreach, or are here as faculty, staff members, or students. That is our goal. We have a ways to go, but as you can see, we have a lot of people involved and engaged, some for a very long period of time and others quite new around this effort. It's a way for us to build excellence. It's a way for us to incorporate DEI into the teaching, the research, and the outreach missions, as opposed to thinking of this as some sort of add-on in terms of priority for us. It really needs to be embedded in all that we do. And I genuinely believe that as we work more successfully to do that, we will see the impact of our scholarship increased in terms of significance and of breadth. We'll be able to reach broader audiences around the state and for this college around the world, which is consistent with our land grant mission. And as I said, be able to have an environment where people come here, they feel welcome, they feel empowered to be their best authentic selves as people and as scholars. So my appreciation to all of you who are just joining us, those of you who've been here a while and have been working with us. Most appreciate that, appreciate you. And as we work towards, or work through rather, what's going to be, I think, a challenging year, but one that's going to provide opportunities for us along with the challenges to be better as a college. So thank you, Quentin.
Thank you, Ron, for your continued support and leadership of the college and also in the area of diversity, equity, inclusion. Now, as we move forward, we understand the importance of relationships, the importance of internal and external stakeholders. So I'd like to bring forward CEO of MSU Federal Credit Union, Ms. April Klobes, to talk about MSU and their support of DEI. April.
Thank you. We're really pleased to be a part of your college and have supported programs over the past few years. Today, I was asked just to talk a little bit about the credit union and our journey on DEI. So for those of you that are not familiar with the credit union, I always like to start with how we became an institution and that we serve the university. And in that capacity, the credit union was founded in 1937, actually by volunteers. So I always like to talk about that because volunteerism is part of what I think Spartans are known for. And the faculty and staff created the credit union in order to provide parity to individuals that could not be served by a bank and shows a cooperative movement. We are a non-for-profit organization and we have a volunteer board of directors. So a little different in the structure than compared to a bank. Currently, in the last 83 years or so, we've grown to be just under over $5.5 billion in assets. We have 21 branches throughout the state of Michigan, and we employ 885 employees. We also have a significant number of MSU students working as interns at the credit union. Part of what I highlighted here was our core values. We have several core values. And you can see that cultivate diversity, equity, and inclusion are one of those values. So a lot of the work that we are doing on our journey is that we do have a DEI director at the credit union. We also have a diversity council. So we have a council that I'm assuming runs similar to your colleges, where we have individuals across the organization come together to share information about their experiences and help us improve in every way possible for everyone to be able to bring their true self to the organization and feel a sense of belonging. So we are wanting to have an environment that people feel they belong at the credit union. So for us, we're doing a significant amount of DEI work, no different than, in all honesty, than we have always done. I think right now, everyone is in a position to share what they're doing, and so everyone has an understanding of the importance and the value of our DEI work. So wanted to make sure that that is something that we talk about more in our community and within our partnerships. So for us, we're just very excited to be a part of the program and thank everyone. What I will say is that in the history of the credit union, I'm very proud of what we have achieved. We made loans to women before that was possible. We have, out of our 9 volunteer board of directors, we have a variety of individuals that represent diverse backgrounds. And that's been a focus that we've always had and will continue to have in our work. So again, just applaud all of you in the work that you have. And lastly, I would say, please think of the credit union for financial resources. I think part of inclusion efforts are making sure people have financial resources to be successful later in their life. I come from a background where that wasn't always possible, and I think you have an ability to be more successful when you understand your finances and know how to make good financial decisions. So we offer a lot of programs under the Financial 4.0 label that you can find on social media and on our website, and we do a lot of right now virtual education programs that are live streamed as well as done on Facebook Live. So I invite you to check those out so you can help yourself be in a good financial position upon graduation. So again, thank you for having us join you tonight. This was just about me. Nobody needs to know about me, but in case you wanted to know, I am an MSU alum and I have 2 of my 3 degrees from MSU, and I serve on a variety of boards in our community. And maybe just the comment that I'll make about board service. I've often been the first person serving on certain boards that may not look like everyone else, first female. I always tell my team is that I say yes to those services because no one else will ever come after me that is either a female or a minority if I don't start that program and say that it's okay to be the first person. And so I always encourage everyone to say yes and be first and help lead the way. So thank you with that.
So thank you, April, for your comments and definitely your support. And because of the support of the MSU Federal Credit Union, this year we had the honor of awarding our first Equity and Inclusive Excellence Scholarship winner. So I'd like to invite Philip Seaborn to introduce the winner of the award.
Good evening, everyone. So tonight, I would like to introduce our award winner of the inaugural Equity and Inclusive Excellence Scholarship. And so our award winner is Nevaeh Marshall. Nevaeh is a current second-year Michigan State University undergraduate student with a double major in horticulture and environmental studies and sustainability. She's enrolled in the Sault Ste. Marie Band of Chippewa Native Americans and is active in local Native communities. Nevaeh is currently a member of the STEM Fee Scholars Cohort and a 5-year participant in the Michigan Indian Leadership Program run by our very own Ms. Stephanie Chow and supported by the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. Nevaeh recognizes that representation matters and sees her journey as not only an opportunity for herself, but for those who will come after her. Her time in the Michigan Indian Leadership Program was encouraging, eye-opening, and the catalyst that pushed Nevaeh to develop her mission of creating inclusive environments and serving as a reminder to all students that they are good enough in spite of what they may or may not have heard. In her spare time, she works at the MSU Student Organic Farm, creates art pieces, and is an activist for minorities and environmentalism. including spreading Native culture and knowledge. Nevaeh, we salute you for your hard work and effort and would like to say congratulations on your well-deserved award.
Thank you, Philip, for your leadership throughout this process, and congratulations, Nevaeh, as our first recipient of the Equity and Inclusive Excellence Scholarship in the College of Agriculture and Natural Resources. So next, we're gonna have an interactive activity as much as it can be on Zoom. So I'm gonna invite Dr. Kendra Chiravillo, who will talk a little bit and who will lead this activity. Kendra? So I think we're having some difficulties. I don't see Kendra as a panelist. So I am going to lead this discussion right now. So at this point, we want this to be interactive. We were hoping to have it into breakout sessions, but please use the chat. So we want to just talk a little bit about maybe what are some examples as you think about the time that we spent remotely, as we think about coming, starting a new year. What are some examples that have really inspired you or caught your attention relative or related to diversity, equity, inclusion this summer? Feel free to unmute if you want to speak. And also if you feel comfortable enough to put this in the chat box. Do we have any volunteers?
Quentin, I have ability to speak now.
Okay.
I will give an example from my own research lab. I have some amazing undergraduate students in my lab who this summer compiled a list of resources to help everyone who wanted to learn more about social justice, and they did it all on their own. It came up with amazing resources. They distributed it. It was just phenomenal. And so that was Jessica Diaz and Lauren Rodriguez and Maggie Haight who led that effort. And I found that extremely inspiring. We also have in the chat window that there's a project where all the partners work through how to include people with little access to technology, which is so incredibly important right now. And of course, right, there's all sorts of equity issues. Other examples people would like to put, the buddy program in my department is now necessarily global since some students are still abroad. This has triggered the program to be used more for information and connection. That's great. And then Dave Ivins says, I've been inspired by the DEI listening sessions that MSU Extension has held the past several months with their staff. And then we have from Diane, I've been listening to, revamping a certificate curriculum, especially to change the reading list to include significantly higher proportion of resources and readings written by scholars of color. Great. Those are all excellent examples of inspiring work being done in the realm of DEI this summer. Thank you for sharing. From Mary, FW graduate students who pulled the department leadership into a discussion about curricular change and next steps that are not just talking about inclusiveness, but also acting. From Kelly, the Office of Academic and Student Affairs team came together to read and discuss White Fragility. That's a book. We are expanding on that and having around the table DEI conversations in the office on a regular basis. I will also mention that the Ecology, Evolutionary Biology, Behavior program also did a book club this summer reading White Fragility and having conversations about that. That is great. And then from Erin, newly formed DEI committee in the School of Packaging. Excellent. Those are all awesome examples. We have, then this one, I think that there has been an emphasis that is not enough to not be, quote unquote, not be racist. You must actively engage in activities that empower minority voices. Social media has helped amplify literature, film, and other places for their voices to be heard. Yes, definitely. Well, thank you everyone for sharing those wonderful examples. Part of why we wanted to do this today as part of this welcoming webinar was it's easy to get bogged down in the negative and to start to feel a little bit hopeless. And the reality is that there's lots of inspiring things going on, and we are all part of a community that cares. And so by lifting each other up with some of those inspiring ideas, hopefully we can then move forward and do that work that needs to be done. So thank you.
Appreciate it, Kendra. And next up, we're going to talk a little bit about our key programs that we have for the upcoming year. I got the opportunity now to introduce Ayo Deladare. He's somewhat new to the college, but he's a recent graduate from the University of Georgia, majoring in agriculture and economics. And just to think about Ayo just started in February. Then he was working from home after a month. But I appreciate his commitment to DEI and also his willingness to learn. And I'm going to hand things over to Ayo, who will introduce the key programs, followed by an introduction to some resources and campus partners. Ayo, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tyler. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ayo Deladare, serving as the Executive Assistant in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and I'll be discussing the programs and upcoming events that our office has planned for this semester. First, let me just say thank you to everyone who attended the ODEI Summer Webinar Series. We're going to continue with that momentum with our ODEI First Tuesday webinar series. These monthly discussions are open to students, faculty, and staff. Our amazing guest speakers this fall come from the agriculture and natural resources industry, government, and higher education fields. They'll be speaking about their career path and discuss their research and potential opportunities in their fields of study. In October 1st, our guest speaker will be Dr. Antonia Farrell, who currently serves as the Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences National President, and as the Assistant Dean and Director for Diversity at the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food and Environment. In November, our guest speaker will be Kristen Kirkpatrick, who currently serves as the Executive Director for Together We Grow, located at Colorado State University. In December, our guest speaker will be Cinnamon Butler, who currently serves as a Division Director for Civil Rights at the United States Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C. In January, our guest speaker will be Ebony Weber, who serves as the Chief Operations Officer at the National Society for Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. In February, our guest speaker will be Clyde Pickett, who currently serves as the Vice Chancellor for Diversity and Inclusion at the University of Pittsburgh. In March, our guest speaker will be Dr. Julia Placenia, who serves as a registered dietitian, assistant professor in the Department of Dietetics and Human Nutrition at the University of Kentucky. In April, our guest speaker will be Dr. Shakara Tyler, who is a returning generation farmer and educator who engages in agroecology and serves as the board president of the Detroit Black Community Food Security Network. As you can see from our amazing panelists and guest speakers that we have planned, it's going to be a great fall and spring semesters. So you guys don't want to miss these events. So make sure you register. And of course, as I mentioned before, we have Dr. Antonia Farrell will be our first guest speaker, October 6th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So please be sure to register. Registration has been opened. So as soon as possible, be sure to sign on, as well as sign up for the rest of our wonderful webinars we have planned. Thank you. The office is collaborating with the May Bills Community College, MSU Native American Institute, and MSU Extension to host Dr. Robin Kimmer. Join us for an hour presentation from Dr. Kimmer on what integration of Indigenous philosophy and scientific tools can do in the culture and what it looks like. Her research is focused on plant ecology and restoration ecology. This webinar is free, so please do register. Registration has been opened. The event will be on October 16th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Our office collaborated with the MSU CANR, MSU CNS, and Tuskegee University and the Manners National Society in creating the ACT Future Faculty Program. The program is focused on doctoral candidates and postdoctoral scholars who are interested in academic careers at land-grant universities. Through the program, participants will gain the opportunity to hear presentations and have candid conversation with department heads and early career faculty members about life in academia. Below are a few of the schools that our scholars are from: Michigan State University, the University of Kentucky, North Carolina A&T, Purdue University, the University of Florida, Alabama A&M, Mississippi State University. Registration has been closed for this event. However, we are proud to say we have 17 doctoral students who will be attending the virtual program from November 6th to the 8th. The Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion will be collaborating with the MSU Women Advisory Committee for support staff this fall in a series of anti-racism webinars. Please look forward to these webinars as the list does come out very, very soon, and we'll provide that as soon as possible. The ODEI office has currently been working with Linda Nubani and working with virtual reality for potential DEI workshops. Below are a few of the avatars that have been designed for the project. So I'm really happy to say that we've actually got to experience a little bit of the virtual reality, and I really enjoy looking at these figures, and we're creating more avatars as we speak currently right now. And now we'll move into our resources from our campus sponsors. First is Philip Seaborn, co-advisor of the MSU Manners chapter, who will be speaking on behalf of the Manners chapter. Philip?
So good evening again, everybody. So tonight I come to you as one half of the advising team for the MSU Manners chapter. So for those of you who don't know, Manners stands for Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences. And Manners is a national society birthed right here at Michigan State University over 30 years ago. Manners pursues excellence in leadership, scholarship, and service. The society promotes and fosters minority involvement in agriculture, natural resources, and related science fields. The National Society consists of more than 55 chapters located in various colleges and universities throughout the United States. Manners promotes professional development, networking, and career placement in a nurturing environment. Membership into the National Society is open to people of all racial, cultural, and ethnic backgrounds who support the objectives of diverse and inclusive participation and achievement in agriculture and related science careers. Current national membership exceeds over 2,000 students and professionals, as well as graduate students located at more than 55 colleges and universities, as well as professionals from government, universities, and private industry. Locally at Michigan State, we continue to strive to uphold the standard that was set over 30 years ago by students and faculty who have gone on to do great things, some of whom are still right here with us. For folks who might be interested in connecting with Manners or sharing information with their students, meeting information is available on the slide if you can see it. And then we also have an event flyer for one of our upcoming programs, a game night, which the students put together to help ease some of the stress that students are facing and dealing with at this time. Yesterday, we had our first chapter general body meeting, and we had a special presentation from Ms. Jill Cords, who talked with the students about professionalism and resume building as they prepare for the upcoming career fairs, and then also the Manners Regional Career Fair also. I can drop my email address in the chat as well as the email address for Manners because it didn't make it on this slide if you all want more information or have questions.
Thank you so much, Philip. Up next, we have Claire Kraub, a CNR Leadership Development Fellow, who will be speaking about a playlist of resources for new Spartans.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Clara Graukup. I'm a PhD student in the Fisheries and Wildlife Department, and I'm here, as Arya said, in my role as CNR's Graduate Leadership Development Fellow. It's quite the title, I know. In that role, based on my experience as an international student, I developed a so-called playlist, which is a resource compilation on the I Teach MSU website. For those of you who are not familiar with the I Teach MSU website, it is a platform for educators at MSU to collaborate, connect, and share resources. There's a lot of great resources on there already. It would it would be great if you could check it out. For my playlist, based on my own experiences of being an international student and getting used to East Lansing and MSU, as well as conducting a survey amongst international graduate students, I developed this resource compilation because I realized that a lot of the great resources and information that are available at MSU are not quite as easy to find. And it feels like having those resources more easily available would make the transition experience much easier, not just for international graduate students, but for anybody new to East Lansing or MSU. So this is what on the slide, this is what the playlist looks like right now. It's several articles, each on a specific topic. And as you can see, these are not necessarily graduate student specific, but could be useful to anybody who is adjusting to the new environment around here. Keep an eye out, it's still growing and developing, so there will be more articles added to it. And if you have any questions or feedback, I am more than happy to take them. Or, and as Philip just did, I will put my email in the chat box because it also didn't make it onto my slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Clara. Right. Up next, we have Stratton Lee, the president of the MSU Black Faculty, Staff, and Administrators Association.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As I was introduced, my name is Stratton Lee. I am president with BFSAA, and I want to say welcome to MSU if you're new, and if you are returning, I just want to say welcome back for the semester. A little bit about BFSAA. We've been active for a little over 60 years, and we've been really working to advocate for the needs of the Black community, including students, faculty, academic specialists, support staff, even graduate students, interns, and so forth. We really work to advocate to make MSU the place that we all want it to be, which is welcoming, inclusive, supportive, engaging, and so on. And so we do this by connecting and engaging with the leadership of the institution, including the president, provost, and other executive leaders. We advocate on behalf of individual needs, those of our community. We work to push forward an agenda that ensures that Black voices, Black identities, and experiences are included in the development and implementation of new strategies and agendas that MSU is looking to enact. And we also have opportunities to help those that are at MSU connect and engage with their peers across campus. Often we've heard from our constituents that sometimes they are the only one or one of a few in their unit or college. And so we really do take effort and time in creating time and space for people to connect and engage with other peers across campus, again, to help MSU feel a little more like home and a place that is, again, as we all want it to be, welcoming, safe, supportive, and engaging. On the slide, you can see, you can follow us on Facebook. You can also visit our website, bfsaa.msu.edu, and or you can email us. If you're not getting our monthly newsletters, you can email us at bfsaa@msu.edu, and we will add you to our list. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stratton, for providing those resources. We greatly appreciate it. Up next is Melissa Del Rio, the Chief of Staff of the MSU Graduate School, and she'll be speaking on behalf of the MSU Women of Color community.
Hello, good evening. I'm Melissa Del Rio. I'm the Chief of Staff at the Graduate School, and I'm one of the co-leads for the MSU Women of Color, along with Amber Benton. She was not able to make it tonight. Amber is the Director of Diversity, Programming, and Student Engagement in the James Madison College. The Women of Color community was established in 2018 through the MSU Institutional Diversity, Excellence, and Action Coordinators Committee. So we sort of branched off from that committee. The community is a social and professional resource for women of color at Michigan State University. Women of color is meant to be a unifying term and is inclusive of Black, Arab, Asian, Chicana, Latina, Native Indigenous, Pacific Islander, and biracial, multiracial identities. The community is open to MSU professionals, which include faculty, academic specialists, staff, and graduate students. We meet roughly every 6 weeks, and we hold different events for women of color on campus. We invite guest speakers to facilitate discussions on topics such as leadership, professional development, mentoring. We also partner with MSU units to bring that are bringing women of color on campus to speak for speaking engagements. We've recently coordinated with the Indigenous Law and Policy Center at the MSU College of Law, with MSU Muslim Studies, and with the MSU Women's Networking Association. This year we started something new. We started a reading club, and we'll be reading the memo. The memo focuses on women of color, what they need to know to secure a seat at the table. We also have an annual conference usually in February. We're hoping to still have it this coming year, even though it's likely to be virtual. But we have the campus community come, and we had a speaker from the outside community come. Tamika Torek came last year. She's the founder and executive director of the Firecracker Foundation. And the way we keep connected with each other is through a couple of means. We have a Facebook page, and we also have a listserv. If you are interested in getting on our listserv and finding out about all of our resources and events that we hold, you can email me at mdelrio@msu.edu, and I can also put my email in the chat. And thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Up next, we have Jessie Beal, the director of LBGT Resource Center.
Hi folks, my name is Jessie Beal. I'm the director for the LBGT Resource Center here at MSU. A couple things about who we are and what we do on campus. Well, first of all, we're a center of 3 folks, myself, and then we have Oprah Drenal, our assistant director, and Morgan Doherty, our coordinator. We've got a lovely photo of our door in 302 Student Services Building, which we are currently not in, but hope to at some point be back some points very, very soon. And then we have some images, one image of one of the events we did last year with the amazing Laverne Cox, which we coordinated with Prevention Outreach and Education and the It's On Us committee to make happen. So we are a student-centered campus resource that works to celebrate, affirm, and empower LGBTQA+ members of the Michigan State University community. We do this through education, engagement, advocacy, and student support work. Our values are justice, transformation, love, joy, intersectionality, and courage. So a little bit about what we do specifically. Usually we serve as a drop-in center and an affirming space for LGBTQA+ students to access resources, including simple things like safer sex products, menstrual products, information on sexuality and gender. We build community. We engage in dialogues, and we explore gender and sexuality. We provide trainings and workshops, as well as consultation services for students, faculty, staff, and administrators to improve campus climate for LGBTQA+ community members. We host social and educational programs and events on gender, sexuality, LGBTQA+ identity, and I'm gonna share some of those in just a minute. We also support LGBTQA+ students as they navigate campus and transition to being college students or graduate students. We do some work with faculty and staff as well, but most of our work is student-facing. Most of our work with faculty and staff is in service of supporting our students, so things like consultation and training. We provide content advising and support LGBTQ student organizations in the amazing work that they do. There's over 20 LGBTQA+ student orgs on campus, which is wild to me. We also serve as content experts on gender, sexuality, and LGBTQA+ identity for the campus community. So a couple of things I want to make sure folks know are happening. We are just about at LGBTQ History Month, which begins on Thursday, October every year. There's a couple events happening this year that are fabulous and important and wonderful. Number one is conflicting with one of your events, and I'm so sorry about that, I didn't know. But on October 6th from 5 to 6 p.m., we're bringing Chase Strangio Now, Chase is a lawyer for the ACLU and specifically works with the Trans Justice Project. They have been an attorney for some of the most important LGBTQ civil rights cases of our time. And they're going to talk about what's at stake in 2020 when it comes to LGBTQA+ communities. Information about that workshop can be located on our Facebook page. On October 1st, we will be sending out a new newsletter with information about all of the programming for October. And it's also going to be on our website. So we'll have a whole LGBTQ History Month webpage with information about how to come to the Chase event if you decide to play hooky and not go to this event, right? We have the Quest program, which is our introduction to LGBTQA+ communities. We deliver that in person or now over Zoom, but we also have an online modular workshop, which folks can access through a D2L community that has 6 modules, all about introduction to LGBTQA+ identities, core concepts, gender, sexuality. It's basically our 101. It's for faculty, staff, and students. Folks can register and do the modules at their own pace. And then we have an in-person, really on Zoom workshop coming up on International Pronouns Day, which is October 21st, on understanding pronouns. So I use they, them pronouns. A lot of folks use pronouns outside of the he series and the she series pronouns. If you're interested in learning more, please check out our website, our education page, figure out some more information there. And last but not least, we have a brand new website, which has tons of new resources and information, guides on language, information on better practices and promising practices for everything from demographic information to all gender restrooms to we even have a style guide on how to talk about LGBTQA+ identities. So please feel free to check out our website, reach out to one of the wonderful staff in the center. We have our main email address as well as our Instagram handle and our website link down at the bottom of this slide. But it's really a pleasure to be with you and I look forward to connecting with some of you. Thanks so much for the time.
Thank you so much, Jesse. On behalf of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, I'd like to thank all our campus sponsors for sharing their organizations as well as their resources, as well as their continued support of the office, as well as diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you very much. All right. Back to you, Dr. Tyler.
Yep. So we do realize and acknowledge that there are several resources and support systems on campus. As we move forward throughout the year, we will collaborate with those individuals. But again, as we conclude and move forward in the semester, we want to thank you for your continual support of the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and for diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. And I want to leave you with this quote by Brene Brown as you move forward. You can choose courage or you can choose comfort, but you cannot choose both. Again, thank you for attending and wish you the best throughout the semester and have a good evening.